Okay, the next question that we have on the menu is how do we evaluate this? Minus 2 to the power of 5. Well, it is tempting to say that's just negative 2 times negative 2 times that's just negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 5 times. Yeah, it really isn't, unfortunately. So we have to remember something called bed mass. Or the order of operations. We know that the first place is brackets. Second is exponents. Tied for third place is division and multiplication. And tied for fourth place is addition and subtraction. Now, what this is saying is that we could rewrite this as, you see this negative sign? We would need brackets around this 2. Whoops. To the power of 5. To make this like negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. So that would be negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. Alright, what the top thing is saying is we could rewrite that as negative 1 multiplied by 2 to the power of 5. That's what essentially this thing is out here, the negative sign. What that means is that since we look at bed mass, exponents have to happen before you do the multiplication of the negative 1. So this is really negative 1 times positive 2 times positive 2 times positive 2 times positive 2 times positive 2. 2 to the power of 5. Pull out the calculator for that. I'm pretty sure it's 32. Would you look at that? I knew it. So this is really equal to negative 1 times 32, which is equal to negative 32. Now we see on the top, in this particular example, they are the same value. So like negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. That's still negative 32 because there's an odd number of negative signs, and every time we have a pair of negative signs multiplying together, they neutralize each other into a positive sign. So this is also negative 32. But please do not think that this is the rule always. If this was to the power of 4 instead of to the power of 5, these would be different. That would be a positive number. This would be a positive number, and this would be a negative number. So I'll actually write that as an example. Let's say we have negative 2 to the power of 2 versus negative 2 in brackets to the power of 2. This is equal to negative 4 because it is equal to negative 1 times 2 times 2 is not the same. This is negative 2 times negative 2, and that's positive 4. You see how these are not equal anymore? The solution that we have here, unfortunately, is not correct because bed mass is ignored. So unfortunately, I do have to mark this question as incorrect. The above solution is incorrect. So bed mass is ignored as brackets were added when they really should not have been. Negative 2 to the power of 5 is really equal to negative 1 times 2 to the power of 5. While the result is the same for this example, the result would not be the same for cases where the power is an even number. So be very careful about BEDMAS. So gotta mark this as incorrect, but that's cool because even Isaac Newton